Dear friends, welcome to the next session of ATP Learnings. Here we mainly focus on automobile question and answers, which are dealing with the lubrication system. So first and foremost, what are the functions of engine lubricating system? So the prime function of lubricating system is lubricate the rubbing surface. So what are the reasons for friction? We have many components which are coming in direct contact in IC engines, which are main bearing, valve train, and other rubbing components like cylinder liner and piston skirt, and also the pumps and the other feed system which work with the support of crankshaft causes one part for the friction. Now, as we said, one of the reason of friction is the rubbing component which are like cylinder liner and the piston skirt and the oil selected. Mainly the viscosity of the oil will play a major role in deciding this friction component. As we have started with piston and friction, let me just explain about various energies which are associated with combustion engines. These are chemical energy, thermal energy, and mechanical energy. So what is chemical energy? This is the heat released by the fuel upon burning at the combustion chamber. So we have combustion chamber formed as the shaded area. So chemical energy gets released upon burning of fuel at the combustion chamber. Now we have some heat losses to the surroundings. So after heat losses, whatever energy acts upon the piston top is termed as the thermal energy. And upon this thermal energy getting transferred to the crankshaft through the piston and the connecting rod, we have the mechanical energy. So when we ask what is the thermal efficiency of an engine, it is nothing but the heat energy upon chemical energy released. And if we ask what is the mechanical energy, it is the mechanical energy available at the crankshaft upon the thermal energy which is acting on the piston. Now roughly the temperatures at the top of the piston are around 270 to 350 degrees Celsius for gasoline engines and around 350 degrees Celsius to 400 degrees Celsius for diesel engines. Now going to the next function, it is a lubricating system also act as cooling agent for the engine components. As it is the first medium which gets in touch with the heated surface before the coolant, it also acts as a cooling agent. It absorbs the heat from the various surface of the engine. Now, it also neutralizes acid, which are formed from fuel and oil, and also resists corrosion and cleans the sludge. These functions are possible to the lubricating system because of additives available. So relevant additives make it capable of neutralizing the acid, resist the corrosion, and also cleans the sludge. Now next, what are the types of lubrication system? Mainly, there are three categories of lubrication system: mist lubrication, wet sump lubrication, dry sump lubrication. Mist lubrication is employed in two-stroke engines where a lean mixture of oil with fuel is introduced and the oil mist helps in lubrication. Generally, when we say lean mixture, it will be oil which is of around 2 to 3% will be mixed with the fuel. Wet sump lubrication is classified into three, which are splash lubrication, splash and pressure lubrication, and pressure lubrication. In splash lubrication, we have a scoop at the big end of connecting rod, which collects and supplies oil at each rotation of the crankshaft. And with the help of oil pockets and holes, the oil will be circulated to the major components of the engine. Now, in splash and pressure, here also there is a scoop provided at the end of the connecting rod, and this will be assisted with a pump which will be lubricating selected areas, namely cam and main bearing of the engine. In a pressure lubrication, pump supplies required oil at various components. This will not be having any scoop, but only the engine, which will be mainly rotated with the crankshaft, will be supplying the oil at various parts of the engine. In dry sump lubrication, the oil will be supplied using a pump from an external source. So moving to the next. In this slide, we will focus on the piston rings. So piston rings are generally made of cast iron, and there are two types. One is compression rings and the other one oil control rings. So the main function of compression ring is to control compression leak. So we will have some combustion gas leakage through the clearance of cylinder liner and the piston skirt. So compression rings will prevent this leakage of the combustion gases, and this leakage of combustion gases is known as blow-by losses. And the function of oil control ring is to scrape any excess oil from the valve of the cylinder liner during downward motion of the piston. So sequence of the engine lubrication system. Please note, this is asked in many of the competitive exams. What all are the sequence of components in engine lubrication system? So this is strainer, which will be connected before the oil pump, then oil pump and relief valve, then filter, oil cooler. From there it will be passing on to main oil gallery. From main oil gallery it will be supplied to the main parts of the engine, and this will be including cylinder head and then back to oil pan. So first of all, we will have a oil sump which will be acting as a reservoir for the oil. Then we have the strainer, which will be filtering the coarse objects, like which are bigger in size, which will be connected before the pump. Now oil pump is the main component of the lubrication system, which will be supplying the oil from the sump to the various parts of the engine. And immediately after the oil pump, we will have a relief valve. So the function of relief valve is to remove excess pressure. So it will act as a pressure relief valve. Whatever the oil coming with excess pressure will be relieved, and the oil will be supplied back to the pump, and the pressurized oil from the relief valve will be going to the filter. So oil filter will be acting as a fine filter element, which will be removing all the contaminations, and it will be supplied to the oil cooler. So oil cooler will have a separate supply from coolant. So this coolant will be absorbing excess heat from the oil, and this oil cooler will be acting as a heat exchanger. Now once from the oil cooler, it will be supplied to the main oil gallery, wherein most of the current engines will have oil pressure sensors. Okay. Now from the main oil gallery, it will be supplied to the various parts of the engine, including the cylinder head. And once after the cylinder head, the oil will be coming back to the oil pump. Sorry, oil sump. Hope this sequence was easy to follow. Now we'll move on to the next. What are the properties of engine oil? There are many properties of oil which make it specific for usages. These properties are mainly on temperature, chemical stability, and viscosity. So what all are these? Pour point. Pour point is the minimum temperature required to pour down from a beaker. So the temperature minimum which is required for oil to pour down from a beaker is represented as pour point. What is flash point? So flash point is the lowest temperature required for an oil at which it gives an instantaneous fire or spark. So fire point is similar to flash point, but in fire point, this is the temperature at which it catches fire and stays at least for 5 seconds. Now, what is chemical stability? Chemical stability represents stability of the oil upon given some environmental conditions in chemical composition. So it resists any changes in chemical composition, whatever be the environmental conditions. Now, what is viscosity? Viscosity is the major component. It is the resistance to flow between relative layers. So it represents the resistance to flow. And kinematic viscosity is also a measure of viscosity. It explains the time it takes for a standard amount of oil to flow through a standard orifice at a standard temperature. Out of this, viscosity plays a major role based on the engine lubrication application. Now, one thing to note here is higher the viscosity, higher the friction as the resistance is high during lubrication. But a bare minimum viscosity is required to form the lubricating film between the cylinder liner and piston skirt or any other rubbing component. So always it is a trade-off between how best the lubrication can be and how best we can reduce the friction. So oil selection in current engine uses oil with less viscosity but has a minor change with respect to temperature, and also it focuses on stability and other properties. So moving to the next, how is engine oil grading mentioned? So oil grading gives an insight to the various properties, mainly viscosity. It is just an index and not directly the viscosity value. The below table derived from SAE 300 is given for reference. Generally, we will have one lubricating oil with one grade, which will be representing the viscosity index. But with the help of viscosity index improvers, we can have slow thickening and multigrade oils available. In multigrade oil, we will have in colder temperature one viscosity index, and in summer or in hotter condition with a different viscosity index. So the oil grade in such lubricating oils will be represented as maybe 10W30. So what is it 10W30? It is a combination of oil corresponding to single grade, which is 10W at winter, and viscosity index of 30 at hotter or summer condition. Now, more the viscosity index, less is the change with respect to the temperature. In the table below, the maximum cold cranking is a representation of viscosity at cold, which represents the low temperature engine cranking. This is derived with the help of cold cranking simulator. And the table gives a correlation with the established and tested 6 commercial engine oils which were tested between -5 degrees Celsius to -40 degrees Celsius. And as explained earlier, kinematic viscosity is a measure of viscosity which represents the time it takes for a standard amount of oil to flow through a standard orifice at a standard temperature. Hope this video was helpful to you. If you like the video, please subscribe the channel and please give your suggestions in the comments. Thank you.